Hey, Yetta, jump!
How high?
Moving forward with the Dekker team. Moving forward together with the Dekker team.
So we are honored that for over 35 years we've been able to come alongside you, not only selling, buying, and investing in real estate over 3,117 times, coming alongside you to build your fun, build your faith, and we're going to be touching on that one this time, and building your finances, and even strengthen, heal, and flourish inside relationship. We're going to go on a discovery journey with Suzan Hart as you've been hearing her story about buying her first investment property. And what was required was not only the mindset that we talked about in a previous show, but the faith to actually take that jump when it was time, and what allowed that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So, Suzan, in a previous segment, you talked about the fear.
Yeah.
The fear associated to actually ever jumping or having the faith to jump.
Mm-hmm.
How was that when you finally had the right one come across your desk and you knew it was a good fit? How much fear, and how did you manage that fear?
What was interesting was when I received the call from Ken, there wasn't fear. There was excitement, a little bit of nervousness, but there wasn't fear in the way it was sitting before. And I think when I first started the journey, there was so many unknowns, right? And because I am single, I'm a one-income family, the buck stops with me. I look at a lot of things before I make a decision. And sometimes those things, it's like, okay, if I do this, I do that. So when I don't know, it's almost like I leap in fear. I may leap anyway, but I leap in fear.
So you leap while the fear exists.
Yes.
Often.
Yes. And there's so many things we do that we leap and the fear's still there. Mm-hmm. I think as I went on this journey and we knocked off the things that needed to be done, I got my questions answered. I asked my questions sideways, upside down, all these different ways. And I got more educated. And the more I got to know you, I think was the other part, was trust built, fear came down, education filled those gaps. So when I got the call, it wasn't like I was jumping into the unknown anymore. And
even though you'd never done it before.
Even though I'd never done it before. And yes, there's always the unknown, but I felt like we had addressed all the risk I didn't understand. Mm-hmm. And yes, there's always risk. And so it was more like, I can do this. I have great guides. I have support. I have somewhere to go with my questions. And I'm actually not alone. And so there wasn't fear. It was like, oh, this is happening. Oh my gosh. Excitement, more questions because it's another chapter. Now it's like tenants and this and that. However, from the minute we said we were doing it, those were already stuff it was like we started talking about that instantly. So
do you think that the idea of being a real estate investor, did that come from your mom? Or where did the mindset, the thought, the goal of being a real estate investor, where did that come from?
Well, you're absolutely right. My mom had modeled so much to me. So my mom came to Canada with $20 in her pocket, a grade 8 education, and single. And, by the time I was 12, we came when I was 5. When I was 12, she'd already bought a triplex. And then she bought her home after where she lived, and she rented out her home and did all these different things. My belief is I'm supposed to do better than my parents. So I was like, okay, so she invested. And I saw also what it did for her when it came to retirement. Mm-hmm. So I knew it was a very sound plan. And so it was like a logical thing. And then of course, the more I read, the more I also realized that part of the portfolio of almost any successful person who's got long-term success is real estate. So success leaves clues. I like clothes.
Mhm.
I followed the breadcrumbs, you know?
Mm. And what did your mom say when you said that you bought an investment property?
She was very excited. She was very excited. You know, she was like, I'm so proud of you. And I said, oh, you know, thank you. But she was excited. And you know, she also knew it was coming. It was just a matter of when.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're thinking this might be a conversation, maybe you didn't, you know, have it modeled for you, but you've seen Suzanne's journey. You've seen other people's journey where success does leave clues and you can learn and replicate somebody else's. It doesn't have to be a family member's. If you want that clarity call to even consider, is this for me? Is this something I want to have faith for? Maybe you don't. Maybe you don't want to get over the fear. That's okay too. You still, good choice to have that one phone call. And how do they reach you, Ken Dekker?
Oh, they can reach me at 613-867-6058. And then, Suzanne, I want to ask you another question. And now I've lost it.
No, how do you block out the noise?
Yeah, that's
Like on the journey, you had your mom's modeling,
Mm-hmm.
you had us in your ear, and there were a lot of other voices. How do you block out the noise?
That was what I was going to ask. Were there friends or family that said, "Oh, you're crazy to do that. You're risking too much"? Did you? What was, as Yetta calls it, the noise around you?
Well, for me, what I knew was, what I've learned is I talk to the people who have the experience and I don't talk to others. So I've learned to block out the noise by just having conversations with people who have the experience that I want. So it wasn't until after we had signed everything
Mhm.
that I actually told people that I was buying a property, because the people, those other individuals wouldn't have information that could serve me.
Mm.
They'd have information that could have me back in my fear. So I've learned to protect my space by just surrounding myself with people who have what I want.
That's brilliant.
Mhm.
I don't know if you're listening, like tune into that thought. And that is only get answers, only surround yourself in relation to the dialogue around the thing you want to do with people that have done what you want to do, that there's already proven success there. So why talk to somebody that didn't work out for?
Yeah.
I mean, you might learn a thing or two there, but more than likely it's going to freak you out than help you out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's so wise to. And then when you tell your friends who maybe don't have any expertise or haven't built wealth that way, they really can't say, "Well, that was a dumb idea," because you've already made it, right? And
Yeah.
and that would harm. It's just wrong to say something like that. But if you're saying, "I'm pondering doing this," someone could say, "Ooh," they could rub their fear onto you and
That's
just
right.
say, "Oh, if you don't have enough fear, I can give you some of mine."
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
Well, that's
and,
what happens.
And
isn't it?
fear is very easily contagious. So it's like protect your space with people who believe in where you're going
Right.
and have a proven track record.
Perfect. So the journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step. Yours could be calling the Dekker team. And we're honored that you joined us on Life's Inside Track, because when we move forward together, we've got this.
Moving forward with the Dekker team. Moving forward